this time.
Well, let's review one of the issues discussed on this platform on Sunday, which borders on the impropriety of President Muhammadu Buhari stepping on some national insignias during the 2022 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration in Abuja. While some presidential aides sees nothing wrong with it, some retired diplomats and protocol officers opposed what happened and insisted that there is no justification for it. Jide?
Yes, we still have some very experienced diplomats and even former chief protocol officers to presidents. Some of them are still alive. They communicate, they express their concerns, and I can tell you that the issue that we discussed on Sunday was born out of concerns raised by
some of them
retired ambassadors and career ambassadors and protocol people. So they rose to the top. They are still alive and they have their own group. So the concern was by them. In the past, what we simply had, we just laid the red carpet. But these days, people will go and design the coat of arms and then used it as carpet for this kind of event. And these career diplomats are saying, no, this is wrong. It had not been like this before. Unfortunately, even when people argue that, okay, there's actually a difference between presidential seal and the coat of arms. The president has no right to stand on the on the coat of arms. But the presidential seal also includes the coat of arms. He has the right to stand on that. It's a personalized emblem of the president. Nobody is arguing about that. But the unfortunate thing is that for some of these events, you will now even see people who are not president, who are just ordinary people, working on even on these things. That is the point that bothers those people, that national symbols are not meant to be trampled upon. And they don't want to see a time when even our flag, people will start stepping on and walking on the flag. So this is the thing. The excuse is the alibi is not simply to go and get pictures from the US and other places. We always say that it was wrong. Somebody said, oh, if we stole so much money, America will know. But is that same America that we are using as the standard? Even when you are talking about diplomatic etiquette, you still find across the world, you still find the UK and even France rated higher than America. But that's where we're going to look, for example, just to justify what has happened. The people, no one is saying, look, the president cannot stand on his seal. But there's a distinction between the seal of the president and the coat of arms. And nobody, if you design anything that is not the seal of the president, and it's just the coat of arms, then nobody should stand on it, including the president. And some of them are even saying that they do not even want, they want the red carpet. Let the red carpet just be there. That even this one, yes, that they don't want. That's their argument.
Sam, what do you make of this?
There are conventions. This is all border around, conventions. Sometimes you don't find them written, in any book form or documentary form. But they are conventions, and those who are professionals, those who are ambassadors, career ambassadors who understand the way these things play, okay, have offered the explanations.
Yes.
My concern here is that not just the coat of arms. Sometimes you find that the national flag placed in the offices of some leaders have coat of arms on them, and you ask yourself if the national flag as designed or conceptualized should have a coat of arms. So it will seem that it will seem sovereign. Do you understand? It will seem that those who are meant to mind this protocol, issues don't even understand what is involved, because the governors in some states are guilty of it. You walk into the offices, you find that our national flag is doesn't appear the way it should ordinarily. So these are some of the things that you find playing out, and I think that we need to take lessons from it. There are national symbols that we should not toy with. We take them as ordinary. It's just like, you know, laying the national flag on the floor and say, no, it's a piece of cloth. Okay. People can work on it. No. It doesn't work that way.
Okay, to enlighten us more, joining us via Zoom for more insights into this issue is the retired Nigerian diplomat, that Ambassador Joe Keshi, who served in many countries, including Togo, Ethiopia, Belgium, the Netherlands, Namibia, and Sierra Leone. Ambassador Keshi became the country's top career diplomat when he served as the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He's also served as the permanent secretary, cabinet secretary, responsible for the meetings of the Federal Executive Council, presided over by President, before he retired after 35 years diplomatic career. Thank you for joining us, Ambassador.
Thank you for having me.
All right, sir. Can you please enlighten us on this, the proper way to do it?
The coat of arms, the use of the coat of arms, and even the distinction between it and the presidential seal.
Well, I listened to the introduction, the conversation you gentlemen have had before, and I think that you've made all the points that needs to be made, that the national symbols, you know, need to be properly represented, because they represent a lot in the life of a nation. You know, the flag, for example, represents our belief, vision, strength, you know, and so with the national, so with the coat of arms. When you look at what we have on the coat of arms, you see quite a number of things that is very interesting. You know, symbolize, for example, the River Niger and Benue. The black shield itself represents the future land of Nigeria, and the two horses represent dignity, and it goes on and on. Now, those things are not things that you simply trample upon, you know, at any time, or more especially, as we have seen, as you pointed out in the case of the coat of arms. You don't get up one morning and begin to redesign the coat of arms as has been done in this country, and I believe it's still being done. Some will put the coat of arms in the middle of the national flag. Some will add the gold trimmings to the edges of the national flag. No, the national flag was created by an act of parliament, and the coat of arms also was created by an act of parliament. You know, so you don't just wake up one morning and decide that you are going to, you know, redesign this because you want to make profit by embellishing it or making it look even more beautiful. But with regard to the issue you are discussing, I think the problem we have here is that we're not so sure exactly whether the president is standing on the presidential seal or just on the coat of arms. Now, let me make this clear, that even the presidential seal that we talk about, in a country like the United States, where some people have been posting a lot of pictures, the presidential seal was established by law. So it's just not that somebody gets up design and the president started to use it. And secondly, it was meant for the president's communication with Congress. So that's why it's called a seal, because once he writes Congress, he seals up with the with the presidential seal. Of course, they've used this for other things, but it was initially set up for the president's communication with the National Assembly. And I'm not too sure, I might be wrong, whether our own was even established by law and the rest of it. But the point that needs to be made, in my view, is that this whole incident probably is as a result of a lack of deep knowledge of the significance of these national symbols. Yeah. And somebody simply wanted to, make the occasion look nice, make the president himself look nice, but it has created more embarrassment for the president. So I just think that what needs to be done, in my view, is for the secretary to the government to put up a committee, look into all these issues, including the issues of the national flag, and issue a circular, as was done some years ago, correcting people that this is the color of the, I mean, there was a time we had so many colors representing the national flag, but it was addressed through authorities issuing circulars, reminding people that this is the color of the Nigerian flag and that you cannot design the national flag because you want to make money or because you want to make it look more beautiful. No. I think that this is the only way we can resolve this problem. I don't think they meant any harm, but I just think that it's born out of lack of knowledge of the symbolism of the coat of arms and to a large extent the national flag.
During your time, what was it like? Were you simply using the red carpet and that was it? Because what we see here, we are seeing coat of arms, I mean, all over the place, and several other people standing on it. So even if the argument was okay, the president was right to stand on his seal, how about other people that we've seen? We've seen other people standing on it from that picture that we've shown.
Well, sir, that's exactly what I said earlier. That, sometimes when we want to do something out of overzealousness, we go for the kill. Look, for many years, this is not the first Remembrance Day that will be celebrated. Go back to the ones you did a couple of years ago and see, simply they just had red carpets all over the place. But as I said, I think somebody wanted to, add more embellishment, beautify the occasion by adding that. But these are not things you just get up and add on your own, either because you are the chief of protocol or somebody, a contractor wanting to make money, brings it to you and say, this will look nice, the president will like it, and then you use it. Some of my colleagues in the past who were chief of protocol has actually rejected some of these things and made it clear to the contractors and to some others, including some ADCs to the president who didn't know, some of these things. The chief of protocols has stood their grounds and said, no, you cannot use it this way. This is the way it must be used. And they agreed and they comply with it. So that's why I'm making the strong point that I think those who are there today probably don't understand all these things. The secretary to the government needs to, look into it and issue, service-wide circular, reminding people of the significance of these symbols and how, it should be used. What is most important is to stress the fact that you cannot on your own redesign the national flag. You cannot on your own beautify the national flag, or nor can you do the same with the coat of arms. These are strong symbols of unity, of strength, of dignity of the country. You just can't treat it anyhow. It needs to be treated with respect. And I think this is what they need to do. And it will just, rest the conversation. And by the way, let me make this last point. I saw that a number of people have been sending pictures of some presidents of the United States, either dancing on the presidential seal or, yes, the presidential seal of America still has the coat of arms. But the point is that the fact that they are doing that does not mean that we must copy. We're in a democracy. Are we copying the way the United States Constitution is working? Because we borrowed it from there. You can't justify that. No, we can't be like the United States when we point out your mistakes when it comes to obeying the Constitution. And then when it suits you, you go back and say, no, the President of America has done this. We also can do it. Come on, let's be consistent in the way we do things. But for me, the SDF needs to resolve this problem and very quickly too, because I'm sure sometimes in the near future, some of these mistakes will reoccur if we do not address it today.
I want to thank you, Ambassador Joe Keshi. Thank you for your contribution. We really appreciate your contribution and the clarification, yes, because it has been a kind of back and forth.
One good thing is the truth is constant. The whole argument around those who thought that it was wrong to bring up this matter was just, the whole alibi was just to bring American president.
American president.
Oh, American president stood on his seal. But we've seen
our protocol.
We've seen Ayo. We've seen in that video. We've seen other people who are not presidents of Nigeria standing on the same thing. You saw even the military. Some of those military officers were standing on it. By convention, were they supposed to stand on it? We saw civilians too. Just take a look at it. They just designed it, filled the whole environment with it, and people were just standing on it. So, yet you don't want to be corrected.
The SGF should take it off.
No, our business is not with presidential spokesmen. Our business with the SGF. And this is something that
in the villa.
Yes, you just have to do the right thing.
Absolutely.
It's everywhere. Look at the person in pink. Is he not standing on it? Is he the Nigerian president?
Even the vice president is
yes.
So
you use the you
in fact, by the time they are done, everybody will work on it and probably clean their feet and walk away. But I think I'd like to make a point before we just make our exit. Nigeria has to be treated as a brand, and every brand has a manual. There has to be consistency. Do those at the helm of affairs understand that this country is a brand that should be marketed?
Yes.
If they do, then they would have to understand that every brand must have a brand manual. It is in those manuals that you discover what you need to do and what you're not supposed to do in terms of positioning and projection.